When we were going to Europe for the first time in 72, it was a long trip, 3 months or a little more, because it was Europe and USA. USA means it's not a huge thing, not all of Europe, America, just these coast few cities. I asked him why you have not chosen somebody who knows your language, who eats your food, with whom you can, be more, shall we say, at home. He said, if I wanted to choose somebody else, I know how to do it. Then perhaps he felt he had been too harsh, so he said, you are Lalaji's choice. I said, but Babuji, there are people who can cook for you chapatis or, dal. I don't know all these things. He said, when the opportunity comes and when the need comes, God gives the necessary powers. Shakti, I'm telling you, He gives Shakti. And that was proved, as I have already recounted, in my ability to cook for him, wash his clothes, which I have never even done for my father. But he had these long dhotis, yards and yards, and this hand-stitched cloth banians with a pocket. And there was generally a pocket here inside, into which he put his money. What little money he carried. So, my father seems to approach him in Shajapur. He said, why are you taking this young fellow? He has no experience. You take me. He said, Rajgopal Cherry, we are both old fellows. Dono bude in Hindi, you see. And one old man cannot help another. So that fell through. But my father insisted on telling him, no, but my son, he doesn't have enough experience. I went to Europe. He went to Europe much after I went. He said, Rajgopalchari, I have already told you, we are both old. I must respect your age. I cannot take you. See. So I became, originally I used to think of it as a scapegoat, but it was really a great divine opportunity for me. Because during those foreign tours, I have developed so much intimacy with Babuji Maharaj. I was the only one with him. There was no second person ever. We were living side by side 24 hours of the day. I had to bathe him. I had to prepare his hookah before he went for his bath so that it is ready when he came and sat on his chair. Then I had to go for my bath after giving him his milk. Then I had to have breakfast. Then by 9 o'clock, satsang, most of which I had to take, conduct. And when we were coming back from Europe, he was praising me extravagantly, what I have done for you, this, that, and the other. And among many things that I learned was the perfection to produce the hookah. When I came back, I had burns all over my, this part of the hand. Because you carry a chillum like this with coals heaped up, and they tend to fall off. And I had to hold them here until we had gone into a safe place. Because all houses are carpeted. And of course, pressing his feet, oiling his body. And I remember in the US, there were no showers in most of these big houses, all bathtubs with curtains. Now he was very delicate and very shy. So I had to fill the tub, test the heat, and then lift him into it, draw the curtain, and take the clothes out through a chink in the curtain, because he would not show himself. And then he would bathe. And then, he would wet his beard. And from inside, are you there? Yes, master. I am ready. So I had to put the towel into that. He would towel himself and wrap himself, and I had to lift him out of the bathtub. And then he was all wet because he didn't know how to do it. So I would towel him again. He would, and I would just wrap him and give him a big hug. He was eminently pleased. Because nobody ever gave him any kindness or show of love. And that was the problem with him. Everybody came, but nobody to give, but only to take. And about love, there's one whole chapter here. I would like to read something from it. I once asked Master to reveal to me the secret of quick progress in spirituality. Master said, create love in yourself and then see the progress. Really speaking, love can conquer all, and love alone can do this. Everything else, every other force or power creates a reaction which is not favorable. If you are annoyed, you transmit anger, and the other person becomes angry in turn. If you use physical force, that too creates resistance followed by a reaction on its own plane. It is the same with everything else. But if you create love in your heart, then the reaction is also of love and love alone. And see, your job is done. So create love. It is with love that our ancient rishis were able to live in jungles with wild animals all around them. Love conquers even the wild animals. I am telling you one thing. If there is love in your heart for the master, then the master begins to love you. If you can think, if you can bring this about, then your work is almost done. The important thing is to knock on the door of his heart so vigorously that he is compelled to open it to you. Then what to say of progress? Everything is there for you. What is the Abhyasi's real duty? In my opinion, he must do everything to make the master turn towards him. And once that is done, the Abhyasi can sit back and let the master work for him. Who can resist love? All the Abhyasis love, as the Abhyasis love grows, so also the master's love grows. And the master now begins to think what he can do for the Abhyasi. It is no longer necessary for the Abhyasi to ask. What is there to ask for when the giver is himself thinking about what to give and when? Really speaking, a true master is nothing but a mirror. What the Abhyasi places before it is reflected by it. You understand this? In the master himself, there is nothing. You only take from him what you yourself put into him. Now I am telling you something. There are people who accuse the Guru of being partial to one or another of the Abhyasis. Do you see how wrong this idea is? And it is also dangerous, and for the idea of distrust and hatred may grow. And these also will be reflected. So we must create love and see its working. I say it is the most potent power of divinity. This is what Babaji had to say about love, you see. Of course, I have written a whole chapter on it. The idea of writing about this came when I was in Shahjahanpur with one of our preceptors from Madras, Mr. Seshadri. He had to have milk in the evenings, before going to bed. And Babaji used to provide the milk. I used to go and get it, give it to Mr. Seshadri. And once I asked Babaji, why don't you take milk? He said, I cannot afford the milk. Can you imagine? He gives the guest, but cannot take it himself. So such is the Guru. He cannot afford for himself because all that he has is for others. And the ultimate expression of this is that when the Guru leaves the mortal plane, as he told me himself, everything that he has, including his spiritual wealth, is scattered upon the deserving Abhyasis of a particular kind, you see. I said, but don't you need it to take you? He said, take me where? This is not a boat you row that you need oars or a machine. I am telling you, spirituality is only to take you up to a level where you renounce it and give it away to deserving people, and you go on now into infinity and towards the center. That is why we say, where religion ends, spirituality begins. Where spirituality ends, reality begins. Where reality ends, bliss begins. And where bliss ends, that's the end of our journey. But we are all, have to progress. Babuji, what is my condition? Babuji said, I'm telling you it is good. No, but how can you say you are always saying it is good? He said, look here, I'm telling you, when I was with Lalaji, I never asked him what is my condition. He said, how can it be anything but good when you have such a master looking after you? Can anything be bad that he gives? And then he told the story of Ayaz, you see, the slave of an emperor. That emperor brought back, everybody, the courtiers were all very angry with the Sultan because he was favoring Ayaz. So they asked him one day, why are you favoring Ayaz so much when we are all there? We love you so much. He smiled and said, well, something is bothering me. They said, what? He said, this beautiful thing in glass, crystal, I brought back from India. He drew his sword and gave it to the courtier and said, I want you to destroy it. He said, Majesty, how can I destroy such a beautiful thing? He asked all the courtiers. They all gave the same answer. He called Ayaz. He said, destroy it. And with one stroke, he destroyed. He said, that is why I love him. On another occasion, the Sultan or the Emperor brought back, somebody had sent him a big basket of very rare fruit. And in the court, in front of everybody, he gave him something to eat. Ayaz ate it with happiness. Later, when His Majesty ate it at the table, he found it was stinking. He called Ayaz and said, why did you say it was good? He said, for I have been with your Majesty for 25 years. I have received nothing but good from your hands. Just because today the fruit was bad, should I make a song and dance of it? See, this should be our attitude. No, Babuji's tea is weak. His sabji is only one potato, small tukda flowing on it. We have no proper bed. We came prepared to stay 7 days. Let us go tomorrow. But what will we tell Babuji? Tell him that, we have urgent work. I like to add upon to this. This is the attitude of people. I remember once, one gentleman was to come, a top man from the government. He was an IAS officer, very high position he held. And his telegram came that he was coming the next morning or the day after the next. So Babuji was immediately perturbed. And when he was perturbed, he would walk up and down with his head like this. So Sister Kasturi was there. She said, why are you worried? He said, I wish this man doesn't come. And I felt so shocked, And Abhyasi wants to come and you wish he doesn't come? I said, Babuji, why? He said, he is a big man. He will expect a gaddi, mattress. He will expect a good bed. I have to make a special arrangements for his food. It will be very difficult, This is not a household where we can do all this. I said, but Babuji, he will get used to it. And Kasturi said, Parsati is also a big man. But you are always happy to receive him. In fact, you are looking for him every time. He said, Parsadi will sleep in the gutter if I tell him to do it. That man cannot. And unfortunately, that man did not come. He sent another telegram, said, visit cancelled for some reason. He said. So Babuji said, look here, how Lalaji protects me. But I was so sorry for that Abhyasi, who let his material comforts, his material needs become a problem to the master himself. Whereas, as I told you, Babuji used to go to Fatehgarh and eat one roti a day because Lalaji was poor and he should not stay in his circumstances. So we learned lessons of how we should behave with our master from all these trips, when we are with him. So may God bless everybody, may Master bless all.